الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين. أما بعد, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala tells us in His glorious book in the beginning, in Surah An-Nahl chapter 16, in the beginning of verse 97, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياة طيبة. Whoever does righteousness, whether male or female, while he is a believer, we will surely cause him to live a good life. Now Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala deals with His creation according to fixed laws. There is no ambiguity. You do this, this happens. You don't do this, this happens. And the Quran is full of these verses. Then when you take it out of the sequence of the verses, it takes the form of a law, a divine law. And our job as we read the Quran and we come upon these verses, to identify these verses and take them out and put them as something that we need to pay attention to and we need to do. You want to live a good life? The only way to live a good life according to Allah is through righteousness. If you are righteous, then you deserve the good life. It's a law. It's a divine law, like the law of gravity. You jump, you're gonna hit the ground. Cause and effect. That's how we have to deal with Allah's book, with His words, because these are the words of the Creator. When Allah tells you, if you do this, this is gonna happen, it's gonna happen. So we have to take note of these divine laws that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala tells us in His Quran. The good life is a promise for the ones who are steadfast and obedient to Allah. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will never break a promise, because He is able to do whatever He wants. Nobody can stop Him. If Allah tells you, if you fear Allah and you do good, you will have the good life, you will have the good life. Nobody's going to be able to take it away from you. So safety and happiness elude mankind, but they are guaranteed to the obedient servants of Allah. Now there's another divine law that I want to focus on in the khutbah today. This is a part of Surah Ar-Ra'd, chapter 13, part of verse 11. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. This is a divine law. You don't like something, change. If you don't change, nothing's going to change. So ask yourself, how am I doing? How am I doing? Just ask yourself that question. How are you doing? If you are content, you're steadfast on Allah's orders, your income is from good sources, you are good to your family, you're good to the people around you, you pay your zakat, you pay your charity, and you're just content, then Allah is telling you, do not change the path that you're on, and He will not change His bounties on you. You can take that verse both in the negative and the positive. So don't change the good things that you're doing, and Allah will not change the good things that He's providing you. So be hopeful and assured of the future, and as long as you do not change your good behavior and your steadfastness with Allah. But if you're having problems, if you have problems, socially, in your family, at work, financially, then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is telling you, you start to change and I will help you. I will help you. Don't expect your situation to change without any action on your behalf. That's how the divine law works. You cannot just say, Ya Allah, I need a job. Well, work on your resume, work on your education, pound the pavement, go look for a job, and then Allah will help you get that job. You don't do it the other way. If you want a change, you start the change, Allah will help you. Conversely, if you change your behavior to the worse, then you're going to suffer. Don't expect Allah to help you, because He is not going to help you. He's not going to change the punishment that He's going to put on you until you change your behavior back to the right path. It's a divine law. It's a law like the law of gravity. You can choose to ignore it or not. It will happen, like gravity. Go up in a plane and jump without a parachute. Don't respect the law of gravity. You'll see what happens to you. The divine law of Allah is exactly the same as the law of gravity and any other law. You do this, this is going to happen. You don't do this, nothing's going to happen. So it's our job to go through the Quran, identify these divine laws, take them and live by them. Because Allah has gave it to us for our benefit. So we take note of it. When we initiate the change, if things are not going to our likings, you change, you make a change to the best, you see what am I doing wrong, you fix it, you get back to the straight path, and then you will notice a drastic change in your situation. It will happen. Because whenever you go back to the straight path and you ask Allah to help, He will help. But you have to start first. Matters will become facilitated. You'll be inspired wisdom to take on the right decisions instead of taking the wrong decisions. You'll have increase in faith and in guidance. So the rule is, if you change, Allah will change. If you don't change, Allah will not change. Apply it positively or negatively. That's the divine law. The Arabs before Islam were sheep herders. They used to raid each other, kill each other, immersed in sin. When Allah blessed them with Islam and they embraced it, and they changed their behavior, they became a superpower, and they took out the two superpowers at the time, the Romans and the Persians. When they got on the path and they put the effort to be on Allah's side, then their situation changed. Later on, when they became attached to life, to this life and its luxuries, now Allah Tabaraka, they changed. And Allah changed His preference and His support from them. That's how the law works. If you want your situation to change for the better, you change yourself for the better, and Allah will help you change for the better. If you don't, then don't expect any help. So Muslims today want their situation to change without lifting a finger or doing anything. That's not going to happen. The divine law, it doesn't matter if you're a believer or not. If you are not taking the first step, nothing's going to change. That's Allah's law. You make a change, Allah will change things. Don't make anything, nothing's going to happen. You're going to still be in the same mess that you're in. So we are waiting for an earthquake or a calamity to take out the enemies of Islam, or waiting for the Mahdi. Keep waiting. Without a change in behavior, a change in attitude, going back to the path of Allah, doing what is right, ordering what is good, prohibiting what's evil, if we don't do any of this stuff, nothing's going to change. Things are going to keep going downhill. So if we fall short in our duties to Allah, and we grow attached to this life, and there's no dedication at work, none of these Muslim countries, a lot of these Muslim countries, they're not known for good products. Because they don't put 110%, there's no pride in their work. That we are a Muslim country, our product should be number one in the world. So they say Muslims are capable of good, excellent work. Some, but most, they're not known for much. They're consumers, they're not producers. Until we change our behavior and change our situation, only then can we expect and anticipate Allah's help, that He will change our situation. So change cannot come from external sources. It has to initiate internally and come out. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. And the greatness of this divine law is it applies at the individual level, at the family level, at the group level, at the society level, at the country level, at the world level. Any level you take it, it takes effect. So forget about others. If others don't want to change, focus on yourself. Focus on who is in your sphere of influence. Yourself, maybe your spouse, your children, your coworkers if you're a business owner. Everyone has a sphere of influence. Focus on yourself and the people closest to you first and foremost. Make the change there for the better. Don't worry about everybody else. You cannot force people to change. Allah gave everyone the freedom to do whatever they want. So if they want to change, they can change. But, start with yourself. You have control over yourself. So you initiate that change. Mind your prayers. Lower your gaze. Stop activities that displease Allah. Be truthful, be honest, be trustworthy. Develop the best manners. Mimic Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in the way that he acted, in the way he behaved, because he was the best example to follow. And be helpful to the people around you. That's the change that we are capable of doing. But to sit, put our feet up and watch TV and say, Ya Allah, change our situation, it's not going to happen. Allah is not going to help. We have to be serious about summoning Allah's help. We have to do our part. If we don't do our part, nothing's going to change. And if we do our part, we will enjoy happiness, contentment, facilitation, and all kinds of bounties from Allah. So our first and foremost responsibility is to change what is within ourselves, our families, and the closest people to us. Change for the better, and then see how Allah will change the situation for the better. Persist in doing good, and see how Allah will persist in His bounties on you. If you are not willing to make the change, then have zero hope of Allah helping you. If you are not willing to take that step, you have to take the first step to Allah. Allah will reciprocate much faster. But you have to take that step. So it's a divine law that governs us like the law of gravity, like any other physical law that we're familiar with. So take a step towards Allah and then see what astonishing transformation will happen in your life. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لكم فاستغفروه إنه الغفور الرحيم.